Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, dear colleagues. It is with great pleasure that I open this year's stakeholder conference as the chairman of the Swiss Finance Council. Being able to bring together decision makers from across EU institutions and representatives of Switzerland at this remarkable venue is a true privilege. Even more so knowing that its architect, Henri Bayet, in fact started his career as a banker at the National Bank of Belgium. Beautiful venue. Our today's topic, regulatory fragmentation, is historically speaking not an entirely new phenomenon. But it is important to see the related risks in an entirely new light, as the environment has changed dramatically over the past decades, politically as much as economically. The economic institution built in the aftermath of the Second World War was aimed to promote the opening of the global economy and facilitated a less restrictive flow of products, services, people, and ideas. However, we now see that globalization and its key components are gradually slowing down. With regard to global trade activity, discriminatory measures and other barriers to free trade are on the rise. Moreover, open border policies tend to fall victim to protectionist rhetoric, including criticism of major trade deals such as the North American Free Trade Agreement or the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Although fragmentation may appear beneficial to individual jurisdictions in the short term, it will ultimately and inevitably pose a challenge to economic recovery and a threat to global systemic stability. In terms of the political environment, the stability and prosperity of the globalized economy came hand in hand with the spread of liberal democracy. However, the number of democracies has reached a peak in the past decade and has been declining since. Accordingly, while we mark a decade since the onset of the last global financial crisis, we find ourselves surrounded by a new set of political and economic conditions. But of course, there are ways we can address the issue, and earlier today, the Swiss Finance Council has published a report discussing different aspects of regulatory fragmentation, including recent best practice in supranational collaboration. In the course of this morning, we want to take a closer look at some of the key topics included in this report. We will launch our program with a keynote by Elke König. She's the chair of the Single Resolution Board. And she will be followed by a presentation of our discussion paper by David Wright, chairman of Eurofee, and Judith Hart, managing director of the Swiss Finance Council. The second part of today's program will continue with a keynote by Valdis Dombrovskis, Vice President of the European Commission, followed by two expert panels discussing the direction of international regulatory cooperation and the outlook for collaboration in sustainable finance. We will close the program with Daniel Carrera Crespo, Director General for Environment at the European Commission, who will shed light on the Commission's strategy to combat regulatory fragmentation in future. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many complex uncertainties faced by both policymakers and businesses. On behalf of the Swiss Finance Council, we hope that our report and today's discussion will contribute to finding a way towards a resilient, sustainable, and efficient global financial system. Thank you very much for having joined us today, and I'm happy now to invite Elke König to the stage and wish you an enjoyable and insightful event. Thank you.